Welcome to the deep dive. Ever stop to think how updates or new features in big systems like SAP S4HANA
Sure.
actually move,
Yeah.
from being coded to actually being used?
Yeah, it's not magic, right?
Definitely not. So today we're getting into SAP Change and Transport Management, CTS for short.
Mm.
Think of it as the logistics system for SAP changes.
A really important logistics system. We're drawing on some material from S4H Web for you to break it down.
Right. The goal here is to give you a solid, quick understanding of the core ideas. Cut through the jargon, basically.
Exactly. CTS is what lets your SAP system evolve in a controlled way. Keeps things moving smoothly.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Where do these changes usually happen? What's the typical map look like?
Well, the classic picture is three systems. You've got your development system, CUST, where you build stuff,
That's the workshop.
pretty much. Then there's quality assurance, QTST. That's where you test everything thoroughly, make sure it works, doesn't break anything else.
The testing ground. Makes sense.
And finally, production, PROD. That's the live system, the one people actually use for the business every day.
Dev, test, prod. Got it. Now, obviously, people talk about other setups sometimes.
Oh yeah, you might see two system or even one system landscapes, but honestly, this three system approach, it's standard for a reason. It really minimizes risk.
Separates the messy building part from the live stuff.
Yeah.
So how do things actually, travel between these systems? Is there a specific mechanism?
Absolutely. That's where the transport layer comes in. Think of it like assigning your work to a specific project or group.
Okay.
This layer determines which system you make the change in and, crucially, if and how it gets transported onwards. Stuff developed together usually shares a layer.
So the layer is like the project's travel plan. What about the roads it takes? The routes?
Good analogy. There are basically two types of transport routes. First, consolidated routes. These connect your dev and quality systems.
Dev to test.
Right. If an object has a consolidated route, changes to it get automatically put into what's called a transportable change request. Ready to move.
And the other type?
Delivery routes. These are for moving the approved stuff, usually from quality to production or maybe to other SAP systems entirely.
Taking the finished product live.
Exactly. And these delivery routes can be simple point-to-point or sometimes more complex, like multi-stop journeys for big projects.
Multi-stop digital deliveries. You mentioned change requests. What exactly are those? Like digital boxes?
Sort of. A change request is basically the container holding all the modifications you've made. Could be code, could be configuration setting.
Okay. Are there different kinds of containers?
Yep. You've got workbench requests for coding and dictionary objects, customizing requests for those client-specific settings. Sometimes they travel, sometimes they stay local.
Uh-huh.
Then transport of copies, that's for sending a snapshot somewhere else without changing the original. And relocations, which are for actually moving things, maybe even changing their project layer.
Wow, okay, several options there. So how do you manage all these different requests and moves? Seems like it could get complicated.
It can, yeah. That's why you have the transport organizer. Think of it as the central toolkit. You usually get to it with transaction codes SE09 or SE10 in SAP.
A control panel.
Exactly. It lets you create, document, release these change requests, track them, organize your whole development landscape, really.
Sounds vital. Is there a more formalized process for approvals, especially for bigger things?
Yes, definitely. That's the transport workflow. It provides a structured approval process. A developer creates a transport proposal listing the requests needed.
Okay.
That proposal pops up for a transport administrator to review, approve, reject, maybe ask for changes.
Adds